There was nothing I couldn't discuss with my father. For example, my first heartbreak, I didn't talk to my mom about it.
Wow.
It was him. I woke him up, I think around 2 a.m. I was like, that is what happened. Da, 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 da. And he was like, don't worry, you get over him. It's nothing serious, So he's a friend, not just a father. He was not just a father to just me. He was a father to everybody, my friends, my classmates.
Yeah.
He was present. He was intentional. Like, I could discuss anything, like literally anything. School, mother and daughter issues, because it always happens. And, my personal life, relationship, basically, there was nothing I couldn't discuss with my father. I have 2 fathers.
Okay. Okay.
So I've always been a daddy's girl right from the beginning. I was 6 at that time when he passed.
Okay.
And then I think after like 8 years, my mom decided to remarry.
Right. Okay.
No, it wasn't very easy. I felt like she was betraying my own father. Why would she get married?
At that point.
At that point.
Was it you alone or your other siblings were against?
Our siblings were against it as well. They felt like she's not supposed to. But my mom was very young and she also needed companion, aside the fact that her main reason for getting married was for us. She was getting married for our own protection and all that. But as children, we did not understand that. 95% of my friends, family, and every other person I know thinks my stepdad is my biological dad. He's not the enemy. He's not actually a bad person. He's looking out for my own good and my other siblings' good as well. My stepbrother was to get married, I think 2014. And then his divorced wife insisted that my mom shouldn't come for the wedding because she's not the biological mom that birthed him. She said if my mom is coming, she's not going to come.
Okay.
And surprisingly, we traveled to Jos and she didn't come. So definitely, right? Siblings rivalry is definitely going to be there.
You said you're not married. I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what else you're waiting for.
To make some money is not right.
You are waiting for me. I am not waiting for you.
I don't have a problem being the first daughter of my parents and to my siblings because it shows that I'll be a great mom as well. That's how I see it. It shows that I'll be a great mom because typically my younger sister is like my baby. To me, I was telling my mom yesterday when we were talking, I was like, Mommy, I am the child you suffered the most. You flogged the most, even when I was not stubborn. But I am the one now that if you want to have a conversation, I'm the first person you're going to mention. Why is this so? And she'll be like, that is why you are the first girl. The only down part of it is you always put other people before yourself.
Okay.
Basically, that's just it. When your mates are being children, you are being an adult as the first daughter. But the problem is when you're not okay, nobody notices it because you've already put up the tough garment or you are fine, can do everything and stuff like that. That's just the only downside of being the first daughter that before you give me any
major thing,
I feel like based on the stories I've so heard, you want to have a personal relationship with me, which I would not want to indulge in. So right from time, I've always told my dad that if that's the only job, I won't do it. In short, near the interview, we started having gisting afterwards to tell you how interesting it was, and I was hired. Then on the mail, I saw that I'm going to be representing the company at the bank. I just told my dad, Daddy, I'm not doing it. And he was like, whatever you decide. I didn't know couples actually quarrel. I only discovered that when I started sewing. That was like 2020, 2021. I usually sew at night in my room. And I'll be hearing some, I'll be wondering, where is it coming from? My brothers are not around. It's just me and my sister that is here, and my mom and dad. So there was this day I decided to, go take a sneak peek into what
was good.
And I discovered that my parents were not in their room. They were in my brother's room having a banter, like they were not shouting, but they were having
their own
a rough moment. And I said, oh, so this couple actually quarrels. I didn't know.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode on the Unfiltered Dialogue. As you all know, here we talk without filter. Today's episode promised to be totally different from what we used to say here. So just give me some drum rolls so that I can relax my neck. Okay, thank you guys. Interestingly, I will be talking totally different from what we used to talk. Especially, I'll be talking about family, or talking about first daughter, and also be talking about career. So this person, I'm sure she's all in one. Permit me to welcome our very own today's guest. She will be introducing herself, and we'll move on from there. How are you doing?
I'm good.
As you all can see, she's looking. I'm sure that the lighting in the camera is actually, making sure that she looks more prettier than what we are saying. How are you doing?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Thank you for coming to this show.
Thank you.
We're really happy because we believe that today's conversation will be really, really educating and inspiring. Now, let's get to meet you. Tell us your name and tell us where you're from.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Janet Ako. I am from Benue State, Nigeria, and CEO to Janet Ako Fashion House. Thank you.
Janet
Ako Fashion.
Ako Fashion House. How did the name Ako come from? Where did you get that from?
That's my surname.
That's your surname. So you use your name
Yes.
and your father's name.
Collabo.
Collabo. Just like other people, it's rare to see people using their real
Surname.
their name and surname for company. What inspired that?
It's just because, okay, I and my father has a personal relationship. We are very close, so it's just a way of me saying thank you, Daddy, for everything.
Wow.
Basically, so yeah.
Wow,
that's why.
wow, that's incredible.
Thank you.
And I love the fact where you recognize your dad. It means, of course, he must have done a lot for you to be able to, and we see some other people who may not really have, good experiences with their dad. Share with us a little experience with your dad. Can you just give us one or two? What makes, him special and all of that?
My father basically is a very present father. Okay, he's so rest in peace.
Okay.
He's greatly missed. But then again, while he was on earth, he was not just a father to just me. He was a father to everybody, my friends, my classmates. He was present. He was intentional. Like, for example, my first heartbreak, I didn't talk to my mom about it.
Wow.
It was him. I woke him up, I think, around 2 a.m. and was like, that is what happened. Da, 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 da. And he was like, don't worry, you get over him. It's nothing serious, So he's a friend, not just a father. I could discuss anything, like literally anything. School, mother and daughter issues, because it always happens. And, my personal life, relationship, basically, there was nothing I couldn't discuss with my father. I could talk to him more directly than my mom because he understands me better. I don't know, probably because of the father and daughter relationship, because my mom understands my brother better. So, yeah. So, literally, that's just it.
It is basically rare because we're in a system where the women talk to their mom more about personal life. But now you're also saying that yours is different. You talk to your dad easily.
Yeah.
How did you guys get to that level? How did you guys get to that?
Okay, so I have two fathers.
Okay. Okay.
And my first father, which is my biological dad,
Okay.
was also an amazing, amazing father. I remember vividly, I think I was 6 when he died.
Wow.
But even at that age, I could remember how present he also was.
Okay.
And how involving. There are sometimes if there's too much peace in the house, I just go and cause a drama. Like, or tell my dad, probably, I didn't eat well. And that's all. Chaos, up and all that. So I've always been a daddy's girl right from the beginning. And he also passed very early at 39. He died.
That was your
biological dad.
your biological dad.
Yes, at 39 he died. I was 6 at that time when he passed.
Okay.
And then I think after like 8 years, my mom decided to remarry.
Right. Okay.
No, it wasn't very easy. I felt like she was betraying my own father. Why would she get married?
At that point.
At that point. But after like 5 years, I know
Sorry. Before you go further, was it you alone or your other siblings were against?
Our siblings were against it as well. They felt like she's not supposed to. But my mom was very young and she also needed companion. Aside the fact that her main reason for getting married was for us.
Okay.
We needed that father. But the truth is, a woman cannot replace the place of a father. No matter how society tries to paint
Make it look like
father is a father.
like
A mother is a mother. You cannot intertwine or change that
everyone has their own
a role to
role
play.
to play.
Do you understand? A mom nurture, father protects.
Okay.
Do you understand? That's why from our natural nature, a man has the physical strength. The woman has the emotional stability too. So she was getting married for our own protection and all that. But as children, we did not understand that and all. But me and my younger sister, which we are the closest to each other, we stayed with my mom and my stepdad. And it was an amazing infusion because if I don't tell you that's my stepdad, you will never know that's my stepdad. A lot of people don't know that's my stepdad. 95% of my friends, family, and every other person I know thinks my stepdad is my biological dad.
Okay. Look, sorry, before you move further, you said before your mom got married to your stepdad, you guys were not
Yeah, we're not having it.
you're not having it.
Yeah.
Now, where was the switch? Well, just take us through the parts. Where the switch came in, where you guys are now, the best of the best.
The switch came about from his actions, situations that started happening around us, being protective, ensuring that we go to the best school, ensuring that even when my mom is trying to, he's not really your dad, you're not supposed to be bothering him that much. And he'll be like, no, I am your father. Like, don't see me as a stepdad.
That's he the one actually saying it.
It's actually your father. And everything that your father should do that he's not presently here to do, I will do it. So from that moment, I started realizing that he's not the enemy. He's not actually a bad person. He's looking out for my own good and my other siblings' good as well. So that's where the switch happened. And that took like 5 years.
Yeah, I love the fact that we're having this conversation because we're living in a society where a lot is going on.
Sure.
And we see different stories. We see stepdad or stepmom coming into, it becomes like a quarrel or it becomes like a competition. You get what I'm saying? They are competing. A stepmother is looking at her son as a competition. And maybe a stepfather is saying, this is not my responsibility because they believe at the end of the day,
They are not
the
one
child.
that bet you.
But I'm very concerned about him based on what you have spoken. For the fact that if you have spoken like this, it means that he must have played a very important role in your lives.
Yeah.
To be able to come to that part where you guys are now relating, where you guys are now, you're not seeing yourself on that level. Now, does he also have a kid of his own?
Yes, he does. 4.
4. Put you guys. So how have you guys lived?
Okay.
Was there any time where you guys feel that you guys are not treated as his own children, even all this period?
And there was no time of such. The only issue that happened that I remember was, I think when my stepbrother was to get married, I think 2014. And then his divorced wife insisted that my mom shouldn't come for the wedding because she's not the biological mom that birthed him. And to our surprise, he said no. She is his wife. And as such, she's going to stand by him while he gives his son out or receive the bride or whatever. And she said, if my mom is coming, she's not going to come.
Okay.
And surprisingly, we traveled to Jos and she didn't come because my dad deemed her. She was like, she's my wife and she's going to be there. So there's not been a situation where in any way he made us felt like he was not our biological father, stuff like that. So definitely, right? Siblings rivalry is definitely going to be there. But even at that, they were still very cordial and very loving because they were older. I think the last born of my dad's child was like 30 when we got into the family.
Okay.
So they still treated us like babies because they're actually babies.
Yeah.
But then again, yeah.
Wow. I love the fact that we are having this conversation because this is an eye-opener for a lot of people who think that there has to be boss, for family to be able to stay in peace. So you can actually be a stepdad and still be incredible dad.
Yes.
You can actually be a stepmom and still be incredible dad. Of course, we have seen videos where
Yes.
stepchildren, they buy cars for their stepmom. You get what I'm saying? We see stepdad also being appreciated. Because that is what the whole thing is all about. Instead of people sitting down to say, it will never be well with that man.
It's to be well, oh, even if it's great. For it to be-
So they should be saying it's the best, this man is the best, treated us well, because nobody know where it's coming from at the end of the day. But let us move a little. You are the first daughter from your dad's side. How is it being a first daughter? Because we heard a lot of things about first daughters. How is it about being a first daughter?
Okay, being the first daughter, right? It's a whole lot because they expect you to be the second mother. Do you understand? The second parent to your other siblings. Okay. Even when you are not the first. Like, I'm not the first child of my parents, but I'm the first girl.
Okay.
I'm the first daughter. So it comes with a lot of responsibility that if you're not careful, it's going to throw you under the bus. Now, your first experience as a first daughter comes from your mother. She's going to be tough on you, tougher than every other would say. Like, to me, I was telling my mom yesterday when we were talking, I was like, Mommy, I am the child you suffered the most. You flogged the most, even when I was not stubborn. But I am the one now that if you want to have a conversation, I'm the first person you're going to mention. Why is this so? And she'll be like, that is why you are the first girl.
Because you're like the eyes everybody's
looking up to. That's why you are the first girl. And in her next life, she's going to pray, I should not just be her first daughter, I should be her first child. And I'll be like, no, I want to be the last born. Because my sister Kenja in the last baby of the house, she's flexing. She's a Nepo baby, she's flexing. But then again, it's actually a great responsibility if handled properly or if nurtured properly, right? I don't have a problem being the first daughter of my parents and to my siblings because it shows that I'll be a great mom as well. That's how I see it. It shows that I'll be a great mom because typically my younger sister is like my baby. When our dad died, she was 3 months. And so mommy has to work. So I'm the one always with her. So basically, it opens you up to you being matured on time, understanding life early. When your mates are being children, you are being an adult as the first daughter. The only down part of it is you always put other people before yourself.
Okay.
Basically, that's just it. You put every other person before yourself because you're trying to ensure that everybody's okay. But the problem is when you're not okay, nobody notices it because you've already put up, the tough garment or you are fine, can do everything and stuff like that. That's just the only downside of being the first daughter that I see.
Let me take a shift a little in your career. You also you talked about Janet Akko Fashion House. How did you get into fashion? We'll dive into it before we...
Okay, I've always been a lover of style, colors, and clothes as a person. So right after before my uni days, I've always started playing with even my mom's clothes. I pair her clothes and style and wear and stuff like that. Then getting to the uni, I think my year 1, I went into pageantry and stuff like that without my parents' permission, which they found out online. They celebrated because I won. But then again, parents always be parents. So from an early start, I already discovered that I love fashion. So after school, after NYC, I was like, okay, what shall I do? And Nigeria, white collar jobs are not common or it's difficult to get and stuff like that. So I went for an interview after my NYC and it was an insurance company. And I've always said I don't want a banking job or an insurance job. No matter how good the payment is, I am not interested.
What's your reason for that?
I just feel like it should be a man's job because most of times you have to deal with male clients. And for someone who is very colorful, like I am light skinned and all, before you give me any
thing.
I feel like based on the stories I've so heard, you want to have a personal relationship with me, which I would not want to indulge in. So right from time, I've always told my dad that if that's the only job, I won't do it.
Okay.
So after I went for the interview, we were like 100 and something. I was like number 90 something. And that was my first ever, proper white collar job interview and stuff like that. It went well. And I was interviewed in short, near the interview, we started having gisting afterwards to tell you how interesting it was. And I was hired. Then on the mail, I saw that I'm going to be representing the company at the bank. Why? I just told my dad, Daddy, I'm not doing it. And he was like, whatever you decide. And from that moment, I was like, okay, you love fashion. Why not just go learn fashion designing and see where that takes you to? And that was how I got into a fashion school. Not even a proper fashion school. I just did 3 months. And voila, we're here today.
So how is it going for you so far?
Amazing. It's stressful, but it's very, very beautiful. It's a thing of joy to create nothing, out of bare fabrics. Then you make something very beautiful that someone will wear, and it's really amazing.
Okay, let's move a little.
Okay.
Tell me, as a first daughter, and I'm sure you're not married yet.
No, I'm not married.
You're not married yet. Well, is that pressure from your parents?
Well, okay. My immediate younger sister, the person directly next to me, she's married since 2018.
Wow. So somebody will say, what are you waiting for?
I'm not waiting for you to. I have this ideology that marriage is not for everybody.
Yeah.
And marriage, if it should happen, it should be with someone who I can be myself, I can laugh, I can cry, I can smile with. Now, my parents, their marriage is the kind of marriage I want to embody. I want to build as well. Because I didn't know couples actually quarrel. I only discovered that when I started sewing. That was like 2020, 2021. I usually sew at night in my room. And I'll be hearing I'll be wondering, where is it coming from? My brothers are not around. It's just me and my sister that is here, and my mom and dad. So there was this day I decided to, go take a sneak peek into what.
See, it was good.
And I discovered that my parents were not in their room. They were in my brother's room having a banter. Like, they were not shouting, but they were having
their own...
a rough moment. And I said, oh, so this couple actually quarrels. I didn't know. All this while, I didn't know because I never saw them. Are you okay? Are you... I only knew that if they're quarreling in the morning, my mom sends me or my sister to serve my dad. She doesn't go serving. So they'll be like, okay, this one, no. But
it's not something that will come outside to start...
altercation of, stuff like that. So it made me believe that good marriage still exists. It's just a decision of two parties deciding that, okay, this thing has to work.
Has to work and has to be this way.
This way. Do you understand? So that's when I discovered they actually quarrel. But their quarrel is having a proper conversation. This thing you did, I didn't like it. Oh, okay, sorry, this is how I'm supposed to do. And surprisingly, they say African parents don't apologize. My parents do apologize. They do apologize. So if my mom takes a longer time to apologize, but she usually come around. But my dad will, what happened? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Okay, fine. Next time I'll do better and something like that. So there's no pressure from my parents. There was no pressure at all. Even when my dad was alive, it was like his one happy moment he's looking forward to is me getting married and stuff like that. But there was nowhere like, you have to get married or made that. Nah.
I love the fact that you mentioned that, like the story you shared about your parents, surprisingly seeing them having their own time. We see people who say, okay, I have a picture of my kind of dad or my parents' kind of marriage. But at the end of the day, you are not seeing the other side of the things they do.
They do, yeah. The
So,
sacrifice,
yes.
yeah.
So you just look and say, my parents have never quarreled. My father has never said this. Yeah. My mother has never said this. And that is the only thing you see. But you don't know that they decide not to quarrel in your presence. But I love the fact that you said, this is the kind of marriage I am looking out for.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, they still have their own...
Actually,
their own time where they quarrel, in just that they don't do it in the presence of you guys. Just like some other parents was like, come on, are you stupid? Are you this? Are you that? But they decide to take a special moment. So imagine if you have not seen that before.
I'll have the idea that there's nothing like quarrel in marriage.
And again, that is why I also feel that parents should also find a way to also tell their children, especially the female ones, that this is for the fact that we're in peace with your dad.
Doesn't mean we
don't have issues. Doesn't mean we don't quarrel. Doesn't mean that there is no time where I feel like this man, I'm tired of you and all of that. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So that they can be balanced. Because I see women or I see ladies come to say, oh, I have never seen my father raise the voice upon my mom. I have never seen my mom tell my father, is.
Actually, they raise voice. They just don't do it in our front.
Yes. So this is something that I feel that we children or whatever, we also need to learn from. Apart from just that proper picture.
Perfect picture
Good.
we have.
So let us move a little.
Okay.
It's just still you I'm talking about. You said you're not married. I don't know what you're waiting for. I don't know what else you're waiting for.
To make some money is not right.
You are waiting for me. I am not waiting for you. So before we go,
Okay.
I want you to use this opportunity to also talk to, other girl child or people who are also looking out for going into fashion, or who are also looking out for managing their self and their, you mentioned a lot to show that you actually know what you are doing. Imagine you talked about you having a banking job, you said no, you don't want to do this. These are self-discipline. These are things that you develop for yourself. So how can one get to that level where we can see all the opportunities, but we can still say
This
no?
is what you want to
Yes.
go for. Well, it takes discipline, life, and then when you are coming from a place of love, because trust me, I came from a family of love.
Very
My
important.
parents adore all of us, even though all of us get coconut hair. I'm the most stubborn. But then again, when you're coming from a place of love, you know that you're loved at home. No matter what it is that is happening in your life, you're trying to listen to you. You are still their baby. You have that assurance. Anything that happens, you know that you are not left alone. A lot of first daughters, a lot of people, not just first daughters, humans as a whole, I feel like the experiences in life nurture or build them into however they react to situations in life as a whole. So for me, coming from a place of love, I would say it built my confidence. It also gave me a pattern where I can do anything I put my mind in to do. It also helped me to know that it's okay to also fail. But failing does not define who you are. Failing also just makes you know that you can actually do better for yourself if you keep trying. And practice make perfect. Rome was not built in a day. First of all, you have to know what you like. When you know what you like or what your interest in, some persons, okay, a typical example is my younger sister is very good in business. She's amazing in business. But when she was done with secondary school, my mom first started into learning fashion, going into fashion school.
Wow.
She did 6 months. And trust me, my sister cannot fix a zip.
Because that's not what should
That was not her thing.
attain,
Oh, my mom was like, you cannot stay at home.
Everybody who should go and do,
Money was wasted. The time was wasted.
and nothing was
But if you
achieved.
tell her, Joy, sell this thing. Oh God. In 2 minutes, she has done it. Her strength was not fashion designing. But my parents was like, but
Was it because they saw you doing fashion? That's why just
she didn't do it before me. I did my after uni.
okay.
I did my after uni.
Yeah.
She did hers after secondary school.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with me. I'd not even decided I wanted to go into fashion designing. But they felt like it's for her to learn a skill. It was important for her to learn a skill. And the skill there was fashion, go to fashion. She did 6 months, solid 6 months. I did 3 months after school. But look at where
Because
I
of
am
what?
today.
Because this is what you want.
I liked it. I wanted it. I had this passion for it. So it was easy for me to channel my energy, put in the work, put in the effort to doing what I wanted to do. Now she's into business, selling stuffs and all that, and she's doing incredibly well because that's her strength. So I also feel like Nigerians or parents as a whole, please, if your child tells you this is where I have strengths, build
should
them
listen,
up,
yeah.
nurture it.
In that area.
You don't know where that talent is taking them to. You don't know where that talent is taking them to. So I would advise every other person out there, first daughter, first son born, whoever you are, know your talents. Know what you love doing. That thing you love doing will take you further than the education you study in school. I've
Possibility.
studied, have my certificate, 2-1. 3.90, like I should tell it. It's in my wardrobe somewhere that I can't remember. I've not used it. It's been how many years?
Your skills have been taking you around.
My skills is the one that is taking me round and round and round. Even in secondary school, I traveled to Ghana the first time through dancing. It wasn't in book. It was dancing. So your talent will take you further. It's good to go to school, trust me.
Very important.
It helps you to understand the managing part of your business. Go to school, but also learn a trade, learn a craft, something, and put your whole heart into it. Because now, education does not take you further the way skills and talent is. Just like now, AI is doing so many things and stuff like that.
Taking over a lot of jobs and all.
Yeah. But there are some talents where AI cannot do. Don't
Definitely,
worry.
Definitely.
It cannot do it.
Okay.
AI cannot come and sit down and start sewing for you.
Definitely.
A human being has,
You have to do it.
do you understand? A human being has, AI can sketch it, but a human being has to bring it to life. So, build yourself, learn a skill, and put your whole heart into it. There are some persons who will tell you, I want to learn fashion, and they come, okay, sketch this up, like, I'm tired. No, you cannot be tired. I remember when I was going to fashion school, if you come late, you go back home. My instructor will tell you, go back home. 2 days, you will not come.
Foundational discipline.
Foundation. Go back home. You learn discipline as well. If you're not disciplined, no matter the talent you have or craft you have, you won't go far. You have to be disciplined and never mix pleasure with business. It will, you will lose. Know your business, stand by it firmly, and you put your rules and regulations where you know that this is what you want to do. There are some persons that, and it's okay if some persons can't afford you. You've built yourself to a certain level.
Yeah. There's
And
always
it's
going to
okay.
be
You can't service everybody. You can't render service to everybody. Know your target market and focus on them. But before you focus on them and increase your prices or your paying fee, know what you are doing. And that comes with investing in yourself, learning and unlearning, because what is working today might not work tomorrow. You have to learn and unlearn.
Keep upgrading.
You keep improving, upgrading. Go for upgrading classes. YouTube is there to even help you. There are certain things like, if I want to sew now that is stressing my brain, I just type it on YouTube, and it's there. And 2 seconds, I've learned what I want to learn, and I've delivered. I've collected my money, and I've gone. The clients have gone, me, I've gone my own way. You understand? So it takes nothing from you to learn a skill. It just takes your time. And time is essential. The time you lose today, you can't get it back. So invest in yourself. Put yourself first. Invest in yourself. Love yourself. Know that every single achievement you want to achieve in life, you can do it if you put your mind to it.
Wow.
So
Thank you very much. It has been an amazing discussion. As you guys see, if when I will see say my strength, they even fail me, because it has been an amazing discussion. I am really happy you came. You know, this discussion, I'm sure our viewers learned a lot. And of course, if you have any question, you have anything you want to ask her, especially when it comes to fashion or personal life, feel free to comment, feel free to share. I'm sure she will be glad to answer.
definitely.
Yeah. So just in case this is the first time you are seeing me, this is the first time you are seeing this show and you have not subscribed, I say, please subscribe. Beg them, somebody subscribe.
Subscribe so you can see me again.
Thank you all for being part of this show. My name is still remain Lawrence Okeke. Thank you very much. Up to the next one.
Habla Mónica, yo voy negativo y me voy. Sueño en mi bolsa, Eminem, Detroit.